Well, hello you bearded bastards, and welcome back once again to Scorchfountain, where we find ourselves at the first of Galena in the year 1176, swiftly approaching the halfway mark of our 13th year here. And you may be noticing that there's been a bit of a time jump. That's right, the past year and a half has gone by exceedingly well for our fortress, and we've experienced very little in the way of trouble. That being said, things have been extremely productive around here. Certainly more productive than our starting years when we were under almost constant siege. Yes, we've finally been able to get down to brass tacks around here, clean the place up a bit, and things are shaping up rather well, I'd say. Now I suppose we could do with a quick rundown of the place. First up, I will note that our population is now 171 dwarves now. We're hopefully going to be capped off at around 200, and we're swiftly approaching that. Pretty crazy. And actually, at the current time, most of those dwarves are kind of just relaxing. Because we've had all that downtime, we've pretty much done all the very important things around here. Of course, the work around here is going to be constant, forever, but it's been a bit toned down, and I figured we'd take advantage of that. It's good to see some of the dwarves just kind of relaxing now. Taking a look around some other parts of the fortress, and you'll notice that much of the stone has been cleaned up. We're constantly making crafts and rock blocks for use up on the surface, and so we're speeding right along with that process. Though that being said, some parts of the fortress are still cluttered with stone, but we're getting to it. Relax, okay? You can see we've cleaned up some other areas of the fortress, like our trap walkway over here. Isn't that looking nice? We've replaced the floors with these nice blocks, just to kind of help the appearance a bit. We've been trying to do this in a whole bunch of different parts of the fortress, but it's slow work. That's fine. We can enjoy our rest for now. Up over this way over here, you can see we've moved the trade depot down underground. In fact, it's right at the bottom of the citizens' entrance right now. And so with it set up like this, we're hoping the merchants can come down here and have a moat of safety down in the fortress. And on top of that, our dwarves won't have to go out on the surface at all, which will keep them hopefully much safer. Less exposed to the sun, but it's something we can deal with, I suppose. Just really is not great to have your dwarves getting sick from seeing the sun, but we can manage, hopefully. Other than that, we have some new bedrooms built down here, and I'm pretty sure we're up to 160 total bedrooms at the time being, which is okay, but we're gonna need more. Now, we could spread onto a different layer, for sure, we probably should, but I'm starting to think maybe we should just cram some bedrooms in corners and nooks. There is still a bunch of unused space on this level. Might as well put it to use, right? That's what I'm thinking. We gotta get these dwarves bedrooms. We'll start putting some thought into that. Ooh, here's something. Up here to the north in our forge area, you can see we've let some magma drop down. Isn't that nice? Comes in from the ceiling and fills up these trenches on the floor. Pretty nice, right? One of our current projects is hopefully moving our forge area down to this chamber. It'll certainly be a lot more useful than having up where it currently is. It's so far away from the fortress right now. It'll take time, but it's gonna be worth it. Oh, geez. Would you look at that? It looks like another vile force of darkness has arrived. Something we have not seen, as I said, in quite some time. It's got to have been at least 2 years now, right? At least. Alright, well, we'll just let them move in for a bit here. See what they're all about. It's more Testree's warriors from the hate of dominating. Necromancer experiments. And, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of them either, so that's good. Oh, geez. But it looks like we had a peasant up here on the surface who was just killed. Damn it, that stinks. Oh well. You will be avenged, my friend. Here's hoping anyways. This will actually be the very first time we get to use our archer tower over here. So let's hope for the best. Pretty excited, actually. Just gonna watch down here at the base of the tower. Let's see what happens. Okay, here they come. Oh, and it looks like they're running straight past. Oh my goodness. I just realized we don't have any arrows. So stupid. Sorry for that build-up. Must have been this past year and a half they've been training this entire time, and I don't think I've made any new ones, so they must have just wasted all of their arrows. Well, that stinks. We'll have to make some new ones. Alright, get out of there, you bastards. Back to the fortress, go ahead. Well, looks like these other creeps are still moving in, checking out our items that we have left up here on the ground, I guess. Don't go picking around too much, you bastards. Where the hell are you guys going? Come into the fortress. I guess they're just checking out the anvil, seemingly. That's fine, I guess. Well, this is not going how I imagined it would. That's fine, though. Gonna show off this area over here, our courtyard, which we currently have all locked up. Isn't that nice looking? You can see here we do have it all walled in now. And so this area over here is completely safe, especially when these bridges over here are raised. That means nothing can get over our moat, our lava moat. Gonna move down a couple levels here, and yep, here you can see it, a lava. Isn't that something? Yep, just kind of poked a little hole into that magma in the volcano over there, and just let it leak in. Filled it up just fine. and it's about 2 Z levels deep now, so plenty deep enough to kill these bastards up here, that's for sure. Now I'll tell you what, just so we don't screw up like with that archer tower back over there, I'm actually having Winks make some arrows for us. Just real quick. It'll take 2 shakes. How's it coming, Winks? Oh yeah, pumping them out like crazy. Oh my goodness, she's made almost 1,000 since she started, and she only really just began. Impressive. This dwarf is a true master, by the way. She's pretty much single-handedly made every single weapon and piece of armor for our entire fortress. A damn good dwarf there. Okay, bow dwarves, how you feeling? Got enough ammunition now, I'll bet. Way more than enough, I'm hoping. So you just get in position and we'll get things rolling. Back up here on the surface now. Just gonna open our courtyard gate. Just like that. Alright, come on you little creeps, get in here. Having a look above the gate, you can see our second archer roost, with fortifications pointing outwards and inwards. Very handy, right? I think it'll work out pretty well, now that we have arrows. Here's hoping. Okay, here they come. Approaching the gate. And the arrows are flying. There we go. Ooh, that's nice. Seeing some blood there. Wonderful. And you can see that after invaders enter our courtyard, they can still be shot at from up above. Pretty darn handy, I'd say. The second group here is not doing so hot. Now I could try to open up the drawbridge there, but I don't think it's necessary. Not yet anyways. In fact, I think we'll pull this lever here and actually close up the courtyard. Just so that those little creeps have no chance of escaping. Yeah, I think this is gonna go pretty well, actually. Our bow dwarves have already done a damn fine job softening them up, and now they have to make their way through our trap hall. Not going to be an easy feat. Let's see how they do. Okay, here they come, the poor wounded bastards. Seem to be avoiding the traps. Somewhat. Oh, maybe not. Remember that each of these traps only has a single copper flail in it, so they're not that strong. It's not a huge surprise if the traps don't end up doing so well half the time. Oh, it looks like a lone Testrys warrior is crawling down the hallway into the fortress now. Oh dear! What are we gonna do? Well, I'll tell you what, I think our 40 flail dwarves have something to say about it. Let's see how this goes. Oh yeah, there we go. Not even an issue. Oh, here comes another, guys. Careful. Smashed. Alright, dwarves, get in there. Let's go finish off the rest. I imagine it should be fairly simple. Like shooting fish in a barrel at this point. Yeah, not so bad, I guess. Though we did lose a dwarf. That's what happens when you go out alone, I guess. Rest well, my friend. And yeah, overall, pretty darn good job, dwarves. Scorchfountain is safe once again. Oh dear. Sounds like we might have ourselves a guest. Crawling up from the underground tunnels, it's the forgotten beast Gogol. A huge, scaly leech. It has a knobby shell and it has a gaunt appearance. Its slate gray scales are large and set far apart. Beware. It's fire. Oh, it does not sound like a good one. Well, we'll get our courtyard reopened and give that big bastard a proper Scorchfountain welcome. By the way, I was pretty sure we closed up that southern tunnel entrance. Oh, that's right. Reopened it briefly. Not a biggie though, at least this one can't fly. Anyways, here it comes. Slithering in towards the fortress, extremely slow. Note that the only way that this beast can get to the fortress is by going around the entire mountaintop and entering through that one gate. Gonna have to continue our little Scorchfountain tour after this attack, but just figured I'd note that our surrounding wall is now completely finished. We still have a couple of touches to work on, but for the most part, yeah, completely fine. Having a look up here in our archer tower, you can see all of our archers in place, and this time they should have plenty of arrows, I imagine. So that's good. That's a good thing. Oh, and they've begun firing. Oh, they've made a couple of successful shots, but not that many. What are the chances we can get them stationed up above this gate before that beast gets in? Actually, that creature's moving very quickly now. Huh, well, here's the thing. I was actually just feeling really good till I looked down here, and I noticed that we can't station bow dwarves in this first set of fortifications, just because we're modifying them a bit and there's a big hole in the fortifications. It just wouldn't be safe. And these traps can't affect that beast at all, so that's not great. So, yeah. We'll try stationing some bow dwarves farther down the corridor. Just, really hoping they can get over here in time. Oh, there's one. Maybe take a couple shots, maybe get a lucky shot. That'd be just stellar. Come on, get him. Please get him. Oh no, this thing breathes fire. I don't want it to get in the fortress, man. Oh boy, okay, here we go. It's crawling in towards the fortress now. Where all our oh no. Gouts of flame, the flail dwarves run in. Okay, get out of there, you guys. Not a safe place to be. There's a lot of fire in the area. Oh, please don't die, you guys. God dang it. Okay, well, we lost 2 dwarves in that attack. Guess I'm not totally surprised. I was hoping to use our bow dwarves to slightly greater effect, but that was not the case at all. Damn. Well, we killed the creature. It could have been much worse. We have to remember that. That wasn't so bad. We are victorious. Good job, dwarves. Very proud of you. Now then, things seem to be calming down once again. Just gotta get this mess all cleaned up. And while the dwarves get to work, we should resume our tour. Well, actually, first up, we're gonna butcher this leech here. Figure we might as well. Waste not and all. Oh yeah, all kinds of stuff. Meat, skin, a bunch of prepared organs, and fat. Awesome. I would also really like to get that skin tanned up. Get some nice Forgotten Beast leather. But yeah, anyways. Well, you know, having a little look around, and there really isn't that much else new going on in the fortress. Everything's pretty stable. Clothing industry is doing very well. Food industry, fantastic. That being said, we have to touch on some events that occurred in this past year and a half. Some pretty interesting ones, too. We can start off with this dwarf here. Datan S. Melamash, a flail dwarf, a member of the Warm Basements. Quite a dwarf here. Maybe about a year ago, we were attacked by a giant. One of the largest creatures found in Orid Ashi. Its name was Lek, and it came trundling along the mountainside, and it was actually pretty darn dangerous because, well, we had a lot of dwarves outside at the time, but luckily none of our dwarves were killed. There was a guard from the merchant caravan was here, and they were smashed entirely by the thing. So I thought we were in trouble, but old Datan here went out, accompanied by a bow dwarf who kind of chickened out and ran away. But that didn't matter because Datan took down Lek. It was kind of shaky at first. I thought for sure Datan was a goner, but nope, they came through, no problem whatsoever. Bashed the hell out of Lek. 1-on-1 pretty much. Dwarf versus giant, and the dwarf came out on top. It was an impressive display. Therefore, the dwarves of the fortress have been calling Datan the Giant. An apt name for sure. And on top of that, she's also been awarded an artifact weapon. One of the ones we got from Glissensect. A steel battle axe. She's still not entirely sure how to use the thing, but she's been training a whole bunch, and I'm sure eventually she's going to be a pro with it. Might as well have a quick look at the thing, right? Its name is Kednath Felal, the Naughty Empire. A steel battle axe. Worth 128,000, very impressive. This is a steel battle axe. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. It is encircled with bands of cushioned granite cabochons. It also menaces with spikes of cow bone and reindeer bone. Also, to finish it off, on the item is an image of 2 cabinets in Morion. A legendary item. And I will also note, maybe you've assumed already, that this steel battle axe here was wielded by Thalatho, the pulpy strap, as part of his infinite armory. And with it, he was able to release 162 souls. Well, I guess now you gotta catch up, Datan. Get to killing. Pretty eager to see how she does in the future. I'm hoping she's at the start of a brilliant combat legacy. But of course, time will tell. Next up, over this way, over here in our prison area, you can see Burr, our vampire, as well as another person in the cell with her. That there is Erib, another vampire, one that showed up in this past year and a half, and luckily we were able to catch this guy fairly quickly. He did manage to suck one of our dwarves dry, but that was it. Luckily he, like Burr, looks a bit different than our dwarves. I have a feeling that both these creatures came from the other civilizations. Our civilization seems to have a pretty good handle on things. Still not entirely sure what we're going to do with them exactly. But something I would like to note is that ever since Burr has been in here, she's been engraving things on the wall from time to time. Just for the heck of it. I mean, you gotta get bored in there, right? And you can see currently there are 3 images on the wall. The first one she did was of a cave wheat plant. Pretty simple. I'm not too sure the meaning behind it or why she would carve that into the wall. But, you know, whatever. The second one was of Akhur, the god of war, the symbol of our fortress here, which seems odd to me. She knows that we can't see it, and I'm sure she's aware that she's going to be locked in there till the end of time. So why would she choose to carve that on the wall? Do you think maybe she actually really wants to be part of this fortress? It might be a pitiful way to honor our fortress's chosen god. And if that's the case, then, well, I don't know, it makes me feel a little bad, I guess. Now, she did those 2 engravings right there, then I threw this other vampire in here, Erib. And, you know, they were locked in here for a while together. And, well, if you have a look here, you can see that Burr and Erib are now lovers. So it looks like they've grown quite fond of each other. And upon discovering that, Burr engraved one more piece of wall right over here. An image of hidden moons, which I thought was pretty interesting. Hidden moons. 2 dark figures hidden away from the world. Some fairly obvious symbolism there. Anyways, continue rotting. Sorry, you two. Hang in there. Or don't. I guess we don't really care. Dark, but we got bigger fish to fry. And at the top of my list, we have this little project over here. What we have here is the lower half of our trap hall. Up above, you can see that winding path. Now, what I'm thinking is that we could put some magma down here. Wouldn't that be just stellar? I think so. And it should be pretty easy, too. That's the hope, anyways. In fact, you know what? I think I've stumbled upon a way to safely tap into magma without frying one of your dwarves. Now, let's see if we're correct. Alright, well, we've dug this tunnel over here over to the magma tube. Just kind of an upside down L shape. And you can see that there's a staircase over here leading downwards. And if we look down, there is a parallel tunnel right underneath that top tunnel, okay? So the idea is that I'm going to come over here and channel away this stone. And the hope is that when this stone is channeled right here, it will remove this stone wall and this one below so that the magma will rush in, but only fill up this bottom level. And as long as the mining dwarf is smart and runs the hell out of that tube really quickly, it should end up working fairly flawlessly. Okay, here we go. Mining. And there we go. Actually, that was not safe. That was kind of dangerous, actually. But it looks to have worked, so I'm not complaining. And that should pretty much do it. Just gotta give it some time now. The magma flows pretty slowly. But after this first winding section is filled up, we can come up above and channel away this tiny little bit right here and allow the magma to fill in the other side as well. It should work out. And then after these are filled up, we should probably think of something else to do with this magma. Something dangerous, perhaps. Ooh, actually, you know what? I just came up with an idea. Okay, well, first off, before we do anything else, we are a war fortress, damn it. And you know what we have not waged at all? War? We have 40 dwarves right here, okay? Let's send them out. Might as well, right? They're all pretty well trained at this point, well armored. We'd be fools to not use them. Let's do it. Alright, well, there are a whole bunch of options. I'm seeing some interesting anomalies as I'm looking around. Well, like right up here, there's a Necromancer Tower straight up to our north. A half day's travel away, actually. And it says we're at peace with them, but it's also marked as us being at war with them, so I'm not too sure what that's all about. In any event, it says there are less than 10 people here, which is probably inaccurate. I can almost guarantee there's a ton of zombies here that aren't factored into that number. Although, what the heck? Let's give it a try. I'm gonna raid this site, and you know what? While it would be interesting to try to destroy the place, it couldn't hurt to try to demand an ongoing tribute. Kind of bully them into submission. Wouldn't that be fun? Yeah. Let's give it a try. And we're going to assign our 40 flail dwarves. How's that? Well, get on out there, you dwarves. Best of luck to you. If this does work out, we'll have to start doing it to other places too. It'd be pretty interesting to get a constant flow of tribute like that. Yes, very intriguing. You can see the warriors coating the bridge with vomit as they leave. The perils of too much time spent underground. I suppose that's what happens. Oh, and you know what? While they're away, how about we show off the fortress grounds? You haven't seen it completed yet. As we said before, it's all completely walled in now, so we are safe. Just had to carve that long channel along the western edge. That took quite a bit of doing, but it's done now. The wall surrounding the fortress is now 2 Z-levels tall, all either constructed of rock blocks or smooth stone, so it's very difficult for invaders to climb up. That being said, trees can be a problem, but that's something we can get taken care of in time. This is still much, much better than it was. Over here in the northwest, we have that mound of stone that we had preserved. Remember that we could have just cut it away because we're not really doing anything over there. It would have saved us a whole bunch of time and effort, but it is ours now. And you know what? I'm thinking it was done on purpose by Moldath, actually. As you know, here at the top of Scorchfountain, we have these 3 well-known locations, the Anvil, the Forge, and the Smith. But back over here in this corner, we have a new feature. And yes, I think this was done purposefully by Moldath, and it is now to be called the Sun, in honor of his poor, poor lost son, standing just behind the Smith. Always. A fairly perfect memorial, I'd say. Oh, and here we go. The Dreamy Urns and others have returned. Mission report, demand tribute from Inky Reigned. Okay, they head on up. Oh, and things do not appear to have gone very well. Well, it looks like we just straight up attacked them. I assume we demanded tribute for them and they just declined. And then it looks like we killed a damned one and a necromancer. Well, it looks like they've chosen death. Gonna head right back out and try to wipe out those bastards. They don't seem like they're that tough. Okay, back once again. Our warriors are nice and well rested, and we actually sent out one squad back to that tower and destroyed it entirely. Wiped it out. There's nothing else there. Our first victory. Very, very thrilling. And you know what? I'm feeling perky. I think we should keep this ball rolling, don't you? Let's send our dwarves out once again. And this time maybe, direct them towards a spicier target. Okay, alright, up here. To the north, the Dwarven Tower of Mountain Lulled. A Necromancer Tower that looks almost exactly like that last one. There's no telling what's in here exactly. I don't know why that last one didn't have any zombies in it, but that would explain why it was so easy to overtake. I'm thinking maybe we should head after this one, because this one is, in fact, at war with us. If we can demolish them, then it might make it a bit safer for us overall. Let's do it. We're gonna raid them, and we're just gonna straight up attempt to raise the place. And they're off, once again. Good luck, dwarves. Assuredly, our beardless Baron has full faith in you guys. I imagine it's gotta be pretty exciting for the guy to see us finally overtaking some of the surrounding settlements. His quest for world domination finally taking its first steps forward. Although, it still does not seem to have alleviated his stress at all. At this point, I'm thinking it's something we can't really fix. The dwarves of Scorchfountain, who do love their Baron, really just have to try their best to make things as easy as possible for the guy. Let him take his breaks, allow him to go make crafts from time to time like he's doing right now, and just generally try to make things comfortable for him. Really don't want him to go off the deep end. He does such a good job here. We're trying our best. And it looks like our warriors have just returned. Did not take long at all. Mission report, raise Mountain Lulled. Fairly standard, they head up. And it looks like Ep.9 outmatched the necromancers there with a cunning plan. And our dwarves just laid into them. Oh boy, they just smashed through those necromancers. And grabbed a ton of books. Excellent job, dwarves. And it looks like they finished it up by rampaging through the place, chased out the remaining survivors, and then destroyed Mountain Lulled. Another tower down. This is going pretty well so far. Of course, we do once again have a lot of books to pick through, which is going to be a problem. But, no matter. It's a good problem to have, really, when you get down to it. Now, and would you looky here. We have a book here on the floor of the barracks one of our warriors dropped to here upon returning. And this one here contains the secrets of life and death. I knew there was one in there. There had to have been. This is a Petrified wood-bound Codex. The written portion consists of a 115-page manual entitled Reflections on the Afterlife, authored by Ozo Relief True. The writing is thoroughly organized and it indulges the author's every whim. Overall, the prose is masterful. A dastardly item to be sure. Gonna have to make sure this doesn't get into the wrong hands. Very important. And frankly, terrifying. There are a lot of books floating around at this point, and, well, it's hard to be 100% certain that we've picked through them correctly. Dwarves throw these things all over the place. Just gonna have to hope for the best. We do have a lot of readers in the fort. We'll just keep our eyes open. Well, no matter. How about we compound our problem by raiding another Necromancer Tower? That should be fun, right? Okay, looks like we have a place over here. 4 days travel to the east. A tower known as Bridge Lightnings. We are at war with them, which means they've probably sent zombies to us in the past. Let's take them out, dwarves. And they are off. This time I told them not to bring back important items, which is okay, because I don't think there's any artifacts there, just books, probably. I think we're approaching 300 books at this point, so yeah, not totally necessary. And I'm also starting to realize how risky it is to have those necromancer books around. And while those warriors are away, we're still cleaning up our forage area. Actually, we're just putting the finishing touches on it, really. Ooh, and that is nice looking, isn't it? Certainly worth it, I'd say. Just give it a little bit more time now. And while we do, we can have a look over at our walkway here. The floor of this one side is almost entirely covered with magma, and after it's fully covered, I believe it will begin filling a bit quicker. That's going to be pretty darn cool right there. Okay, we've let some time pass, and our warriors are back once more. Okay, they head out far, far to the east, arrive, and it looks like Ep.9 was able to outmatch the dwarves there with a cunning plan once again. Pretty much a repeat here. We wade in, slaughter the necromancers. Handily, too. Damn. Yeah, would you look at that? Killed what we could, chased off the rest, and destroyed the tower. Good job, dwarves. Well, I'm gonna tell you what. We're doing extremely well with our rating. Better than I thought we would. And I would like to keep that up. So I think we're just gonna hop out and try to take on a couple more real quick. And depending on how those go, we might be able to start splitting up our forces and attacking 2 places at once. I don't know though. That does certainly sound risky. We'll see what happens. Well, dwarves, when you get down to it, we have not done so bad for ourselves in the past year. It feels pretty nice to get out there and finally overtake some of our enemies. Those damn necromancers have been a thorn in our side since the very beginning. But now at least I know what they're messing with exactly. We're not pushovers here in Scorchfountain, and hopefully knocking over, 8 of their towers in the past year? It shows them that we're not messing around. Yeah, that's pretty wild. 8 towers, we did not lose a single dwarf during any of it, and really, it was pretty simple. We were trying to mostly focus on towers who were at war with us, just to try to kind of remove that threat. And we've done a pretty good job so far. There are still quite a few around though, a bit far away, but we'll get to them in time. Also, really gotta hand it to Lorbam, Ep.9, the dwarf who's been leading all of our squads. I gotta believe it's because of his leadership alone that we've done so well so far. And with every tower we topple, his skill increases just a tiny bit more. We're growing stronger, dwarves. Let's continue rolling forward. And someone else I would like to thank is Scorchfountain itself. Something we should make a regular habit of. Now, if you have a look over here at the forge, you can see just right here we have a support, and up above that support is a small wooden box. 4 walls, a ceiling, and floor, and inside, 3 Testrees warriors. The bastards were caught in cage traps a while back. A proper sacrifice, I say. They're just kind of running around in here now. Not too sure what to make of this whole thing. A bit toasty, I imagine, being suspended above that magma. But that's fine, they don't have much longer to wait. Just gotta get somebody to pull this lever right over here. To you, mighty volcano, we offer this sacrifice. Modest, but it is the first of many. We assure you. Awesome. Looking down in the magma, you can see the burning logs and corpses. Brilliant. Slowly sinking to the bottom. Good riddance, you bastards. What a successful time for our fortress. Really starting to hit our stride, I think. Dwarves of Scorchfountain, we've begun the long, arduous climb to the top. But one day, rest assured, we will reach that pinnacle. The pinnacle being complete world domination, as per our beloved beardless baron. To Moldath, to the Abbey of Proliferation, to Scorchfountain, greatest fortress in Orid Ashi. May Acker's flail grace us. Well, hello you bearded bastards, and welcome to the end of the episode where we'll be discussing some behind-the-scenes things. One thing I'd really like to touch on is the whole raiding thing in Dwarf Fortress. It's buggy. It's terribly buggy. You know it? Well, like there was a few episodes back where we sent out some squads, and half of them came back as migrants? What the hell is that? Doesn't make any sense. And yeah, I know you can twist it to like match the narrative and stuff, but it's not supposed to happen, I don't think. Or, I mean, if it is supposed to happen, I'd like to know why it happens. It's kind of hard to tell. I don't think it's supposed to happen, though. Another problem I've run into, and this is a problem I've been dealing with for quite some time now, is like you'll send a squad out, and they just won't come back. They'll just be gone for months at a time. For no reason. No discernible reason. So you have to dismantle the entire squad, and they will come back as a migrant wave. Sometimes it's a pain. It's a pain in the butt. But you know, we've been managing so far. Just hoping it doesn't lead to any serious issues down the road. I really want to keep raiding like this. This is great. I don't think I've ever conquered so many places in a single episode like this before. So yeah, it's good to see that Ep.9 there. He must be a really good tactician or something. I didn't check. He has not been bested in combat yet. Really good to see. Another thing real quick. We've been getting a lot of upset dwarves in the fortress. You've probably seen the little flashing downwards red arrows all over the place. It's been kind of an issue. And you know, I hear it all the time, you know, oh, Krug, you've got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this. I think I'm managing this fortress pretty darn well, actually. New, good quality clothing for everyone. I buy out the merchants' food supplies and drink supplies every time they show up. We're constantly producing high quality prepared meals. Every single dwarf has an enormous bedroom. They've got downtime now, a library full of books, temples. So I gonna be frank, don't want to hear it. Not sure what's going on. It's a bit frustrating, but just part of the game, I suppose. And before we go, one last thing I'd like to mention is this wonderful bag here, received as a gift from my very good friend Sarah. And would you have a look at that? Isn't that nice? Sort of a messenger bag style. And on it you can see emblazoned a horn beetle. Isn't that glorious? Super sturdy, it has a bunch of pockets in it. Overall, very durable and useful, much like the mighty horn beetle itself. And also a quick shout out to the people who made this over at the Kennels Trading Post, where they make all kinds of neat things. Custom embroidery, stock image embroidery, messenger bags like this one, dice bags, hats, mittens, etc. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. Go check them out. This isn't a sponsorship thing. I just thought it was some really cool stuff and I'd get the word out. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. Appropriate links will be in the description below. Now then, you bearded bastards, it's time for me to let you go. I thank you for joining me today, and I sincerely hope that you enjoyed yourselves. And also, I really do hope to see you next time here in Athlestzaphon, Scorchfountain. And until then, you bearded bastards.